The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. As you all know, this is a program that I've been doing monthly now for probably a little over a year. And I want to tell you how much it warms my heart to see so many people here this evening. Thank you so much for continuing to support this. I really enjoy doing it. And I'm glad that you folks are still enjoying attending and hearing it and participating. All through the next hour, I will be answering your psychic questions or your questions with my psychic abilities. I will be channeling my guides. They're coming in right now. I can feel them. I don't know if you can. And my guides will be answering your questions, and what I'm doing is translating the information from what they give me into what you're going to be hearing. Now, we have a little pattern of how we interconnect. What we do whenever I have the Psychic Hour is, if you have a question that you would like to ask me, you raise your hand. That is the at the top of the first column next to your name, you're going to see a little hand. If you click in the box that's right next to right under that hand, that will raise your hand. So once we see your hand, we'll know that you have a question you want to ask. If you're a little bit shy and you don't want to come on and verbally ask the question, well, then you can type your question into the chat room, and Lisa is on, my assistant, and if she can answer that question directly, she will. Otherwise, she will read the question off to me, and this way we'll be able to hit as many questions from as many people as we can in the next hour. My guides are really magnificent people, and what they often do is answer a question in such a way that even if you didn't get your question answered, if you listen to the answers to other people on the call, you're going to find your questions getting answered in the middle of their questions. So my guides can actually hit a whole group of people at the same time, because they're in your heads. They're recognizing what you need to know, and they're giving that information to you. So without any further ado, we're going to get started, and I'll try to make this as fun and interesting as I possibly can. One last thing, I want to wish you all a very, very happy Halloween. I had so much fun this past weekend. This is my favorite holiday of all the holidays. I almost wore my witch hat, and I thought that might have been a little too much for everybody, so no witch hat tonight. But instead we have a butterfly. I'm talking about transformation, I guess, this evening. That's what butterflies symbolize. And also a couple of quick announcements, and then we will get started. The next Psychic Hour, if you're interested in coming back next month, they're always free. The next Psychic Hour is going to be on December 7th, so put that on your calendar right now. Also on November 13th, I have a self-healing workshop scheduled. There is a small charge for that. The seating is limited, so if it interests you, please register for that quickly so that you can be sure to get your spot reserved. And the other announcement is my Psychic Development Level 5 in Tampa is going to be held on November 15th and 16th. You're seeing me looking off to the right because I actually have them posted so that I can read them this evening. I'm usually shuffling through papers trying to find them, and tonight I'm really organized. That's thanks to my great friend Lisa. Okay, we're going to get started. Lisa, is there somebody who has their hand up and has a question for me this evening that maybe is a new caller?
Okay, let's start with Lynn. Lynn, you are unmuted.
Hello, Lynn. Lynn, we have, as you get started, we have got some basic rules we follow. The first thing I would like you to do is to tell me what your birth sign is, your astrological sign, because I'm going to be able to find you in the chart I have here on the screen. Second, please tell everyone the thing that you are most grateful for right now, tonight, and then ask your question. So First, what's your sun sign, Lynn?
Taurus.
Could you speak a little louder, or you're a little bit low?
Sorry, Taurus.
Taurus. Okay. So Lynn, on my screen, you can see my cursor moving. The sign Taurus is over here in the chart's 11th house and 12th house. You cross right in between the two charts, the two houses. I'll talk about that in a moment. And what are you most grateful for at this time in your life, right now, tonight?
Just really grateful for my happy and healthy family. They're awesome.
Do you have your microphone turned up all the way? Because you're really coming through broken up, and I want to hear you clearly because I can't quite hear what you're saying. If I can't hear you, I don't think anybody else can.
Sorry, can you hear me better?
Oh, much better. Yes, thank you.
Okay. I was just saying I'm so grateful for my happy and healthy family. They're awesome.
Fabulous, fabulous. And thank you so much for sharing that. Right now, that's one of the things I'm most happy for as well. So I guess we're talking about family things this evening. Look at my chart, Lynn. See that? This is the ascendant in the chart. It's on the extreme left side, and that little symbol there that looks like two hands hugging each other, that little symbol is a Cancer symbol, and Cancer is all about family. So I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of family questions and comments this evening. We'll find out at the end of the evening. But this is what we call a horary chart. I cast this chart every time I do a psychic hour. And believe it or not, everybody's questions, including yours, are going to be answered in this chart. It's pretty amazing. First of all, not only are your questions going to be about family, but your questions are going to be about friends and about romance, maybe yours, maybe somebody close to you. So, ask.
Actually, my question is about my life purpose and career. I wanted to know if I am meant to be a medium, or do my guides have information that I should be doing something else? And if so, is this the right time for it?
Well, first of all, I've got to tell you, I'm getting chills all over. And for me, when I get those chills that go up and down, it says that this is important. You know, I usually know who's going to win the voice, because when he or she is singing, I'm getting those chills. I'm getting those chills for you. Okay. So I think your question right off is that, well, first of all, Lynn, you already know your spiritual path. You know it. Okay. And you're already on it. So that's really more confirmation than anything else. Secondly, do you have the capacity to be a medium? Guess what? You already know the answer to that too, don't you? You certainly have the capacity.
Yeah.
You are already a medium. And I guess your question really is about your insecurity. Can you be a medium that's going to be able to effectively help people and be able to support yourself on your gift? Am I correct?
Yes.
Because after all, you are a Taurus, and Taurus always has their feet on the ground. And so when you're about to embark on this journey into something which is so brand new, and, you know, it's not like you can go out and go down to the local corner store and walk in the door and say, hey, are you hiring mediums today? It just doesn't work that way. So it really is very difficult to get started in our profession. And it's interesting you should mention this, because one of the things that I am doing right now with my psychic development students is I'm making available to them, when they graduate the system, I'm making available to them courses in how to get a business started. Isn't that interesting? So if you're interested in some pointers, contact Lisa, because she will be able to point you in methods that you can get things working, because there isn't a rule book out there, and there's nobody telling you how to make it happen. And unless you're really something of an entrepreneur and very self-motivated, and you're willing to really put yourself out there and take some chances, it's hard to get started and make it happen, because it's not already a profession that you just walk in the door and say, hey, I want to be hired. You have to create it. Now, in answer to that question, because we know you are already on the path, you are already a medium, you are gifted, you're already doing readings, and you know this is what you want to do. So the real question is, are you capable, right, of making it happen professionally, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now watch this. the way that you will earn your money, okay, if this is you right here, the way you're going to earn your money is the second house from there, which has Cancer on the cusp. So you will be able to work from your home or from a place that's very homey feeling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the house that talks about this as a profession is this 8th house over here, which has Capricorn on the cusp, and that says absolutely you will be able to earn money with this, and you will be able, if you really address it with purpose and not allow yourself to be influenced by too many of the people around you, you'll be able to make it work as a profession very successfully. Now let me explain the reason why. Remember I said that everybody on this call is going to be asking questions in one way or another about family and about romance
Yes.
and relationships. Well, you happen to have a lot of people around you, not your friends are supportive, but people in your family, perhaps children, perhaps lovers, or men who are important to you, who do not think that this is a viable career. Would you like
Right.
to share, to shed some light on that?
There's just a few family members that think it's all hocus pocus, you know, and it's not even worth trying to explain it to them.
And thank you for saying that, because when a lot of people don't know this about me, Lynn, but when I first began my career as a psychic professionally, I was 28 years old. That was back around 1979, so you guys can know how old I am now. And about 20 years later, my mother was still asking me when I was going to get a real job.
Ouch.
So, you know, you cannot allow other people's projection of what is right for you to affect what you want to do in this field. You just can't do it, because your family isn't going to see this as having viability, as having reputability, until you actually are working in a New Age store or working for a corporation as their resident empath or psychic, which is a long, that'll happen, by the way. That's part of the Earth's future, but it's not there yet. I finally received my parents' support when I started doing readings in a local New Age store, so I had a physical place to work in, so they thought it was real. And I just, at that point, I'd already been reading 20 years. I just laughed. I thought it was so funny. So realize that it is something which you have the capacity to be very good at. You incidentally have to watch out for your empathy. Are you aware of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. As a medium, if you allow your empathy to get involved with your readings, it will destroy your readings, because you'll get pulled into the empathic bond with the client instead of hearing the person from the other side. But honestly, you have a tremendous gift, and I hope to see your name out there in lights one day. But even if it's not in lights, I certainly know that you can turn this into a very respectable profession that's probably going to give you more support and more joy than being an accountant or something like that would.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
very
appreciate
welcome.
it.
And good luck to you, because you're so creative. And write the book.
Wow.
Write the
Wow,
book.
I can't
They just
believe
told
you said
that to
that.
me. Write the book. You know the book. What you know it's supposed to be about, write the book. Get out of your own way. You're resisting. Write it.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're
Many
very
blessings
welcome.
to you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling. Okay, Lisa, who's our next person?
Well, a gal after my own heart, because her name is Lisa, and she also has a question about mediumship. Lisa, you are unmuted.
Now, does
Oh,
this mean I
thank
did?
you.
Hold on, Lisa. Does this mean I just did 2 Lisas in a row, or was I calling my first caller the wrong name?
No, the first one was Lynn, not
Lynn.
Lisa.
Lynn, I apologize, because I know I slipped and called you Lisa. Okay. Lisa, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Same, thank you.
Lisa, what's your sun sign?
Aquarius.
Okay, so in my chart, you are right up here in both the 8th, mostly in the 8th house and a little bit in the 9th house. We'll talk about that. what are you most grateful for this evening?
For my cancer being found.
Oh, fabulous.
And yeah, that's
And
what I'm most grateful for.
And I think this is synchronistic. Here's the sign Cancer on the ascendant of this chart. Now, this is a sun sign. However, it is synchronistic. So congratulations. It is great that that was taken care of. Well, maybe not totally taken care of, but found and will soon be completely taken care of. By the way, I immediately am I see cards in my head. My guides communicate with me in many, many ways. And the card they're showing me is the star. So you're going to be clear. If you're not already, you're going to be clear.
I am. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Just do what they say. It's going to work. Okay?
I'm trying to listen, but something's holding me back. I don't know what it is.
Oh, maybe it's your own resistance.
Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe fear?
I think that's
what you
what it is. It's fear, you know. But what they're telling me is that there is a pathway that you need. I mean, this is going to sound, I'm not by any means trying to diminish the illness, because it is, I mean, it's real, it's there. But it's important to recognize that they have viable, successful treatments today for every form of cancer if it's caught early enough. But you've got to do what they say. And that they're showing me something like a cauterization, so I'm assuming that's going to be a little bit of radiation that you're going to get.
They did that already. I'm done with the radiation, and I'm now recovering from that.
Right, and they're showing me a black, I'm getting the graphics. They're showing me this blackened area around the site. I'm assuming this was in your breast?
No, that wasn't in my breast. It was in my eye.
Oh, okay. Interesting, because I didn't even know they could do that in an eye. At any rate, what I'm seeing is the cauterized area, okay, and it's blackened around it, so that may be affecting your vision for a while.
Yes.
They're telling me that there's going to be some kind of other treatment, and it's probably drug therapy, oncology perhaps, of some form, that's going to flush that darkness away. Okay, is that the next step that you're resisting?
I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, because it's almost like they're showing me that the eye now needs to be cleansed. So first was the cauterizing, and they're calling it cauterizing. It's got to have been some kind of a radiation.
It was radiation.
Yeah.
It was radiation seeds sewn on my eye.
Okay, and now it needs to be cleansed, and literally the eye has to be cleansed to get rid of the remnants of that. And they're telling me that you're going to see again too. They're showing, this is so funny. They're showing me you're seeing green light. Now that could be symbolic, because I see green as the color of healing. Okay.
Yes.
So that could be they're just telling me it's going to be healed, or maybe you're just going to be seeing the world in shades of green. I don't know. So, was that your question, or did you have an additional question?
Well, my question was really what was holding me back, and how I can go on to change that. What path can I take to change what's going on with me as far as all the mediumship and all that?
Okay, now that's a different question, okay? So when you're asking what's holding you back, you're not talking about the medical situation with your eye. You're talking about the developing of your psychic senses.
Correct.
Okay, and you know, it's kind of interesting because my guides are saying there's nothing holding you back. Not anymore. Now, think about that. What did you just have to face and go through in finding the cancer in your eye, and then going through that particular treatment? And do you also, this is interesting, but do you also realize that in having radiation in your eye, how close that is to the third eye?
Yes.
Your third eye just got reamed. It's open.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why I'm kind of...
I just got the chills.
If they're saying, if there was resistance, it's not there anymore.
That's funny.
So just go out and do it, you know. Now, as far as what should you be doing, okay, in this chart, see that little X in the circle? That's a part of fortune. It's in Aquarius. This is your fortune time, my friend. This isn't just the best time in the world because they found the cancer and took care of it. This is also because all of the things that you want to be doing are starting to fall into place for you. Okay?
Yay.
And you have, when you were saying what was holding you back, lack of respectability. It's interesting. There's a tie-in to what Lynn was talking about. Lack of support from family and friends. Another thing that falls into place with her. That seems to be a theme this evening. The other thing is this whole 8th house is Capricorn on the cusp. That, you know, this could be a hobby, but it can't be a career.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, you heard
Yes.
what I said to Lynn, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Loud and clear.
Okay. And do you like sci-fi shows, science fiction shows?
Some.
Okay. There's a old television program that you can still get from Netflix. It's called Babylon 5. And they have an entire Psy-Corps of people on Babylon 5. Go watch it because it's fun, and it'll try to get you in the mood for the future.
I will do that. I'm gonna get it. Babylon 5.
Yep, enjoy.
Thank you
and
so much.
Just study and practice, and it's all gonna fall into place for you. And
thank you so much.
Talk to you soon. And you know, where do you live? Because I'm thinking I'm going to be seeing you soon too.
I live in Long Island. I live in Syosset.
Interesting. I grew up on Long Island. I grew up in Franklin Square and lived most of my adult life up until 40 in Bay Shore. Okay, so I'm very familiar with the island, and I will be up there next summer. I usually work with a good friend out in the Hamptons doing some lectures, so maybe that's where I'm going to see you, or maybe you're going to travel down to Tampa and take classes next year. But I definitely feel like I'm going to be seeing you. So
I'm looking for. I was just talking about that. Au revoir.
So I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Lisa, who's next?
Okay, the next person I'm calling on is Sally. Sally, you are...
Oops,
Hi.
Hi, Sally. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Having fun. Always having fun. Awesome. Sally, what's your sun sign?
Aries.
Okay. And if we find you, look at you, right up there in the 10th house. It's about whether or not you should go back into an old path, isn't it? Maybe even an old career path. But, you know, it might be worth your while because there could be some good options there for the future. Sometimes you step back in order to give the past a shake and step forward from there. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Sally, what are you most grateful for in this moment?
I am most grateful for my family and my sons.
And how old is your son now?
I have two, 18 and 14.
Oh boy, what a wonderful, wonderful age when they're really becoming young men now. That's my favorite age. It truly is. So enjoy
It is.
them. Yeah.
I do. Thank you.
And what's your question this evening, Sally?
I was just wondering what my relationship future held.
Okay. Well, here we go. We're talking about family and relationships. You have an opportunity. I have to ask you a question back. There have been multiple relationships in your life, correct?
No.
No? Okay.
A very long relationship.
Okay. But there have been, before that, there were multiple relationships.
Romantic relationships?
I can't tell for sure. Let me just tell you what I'm getting, okay? It's easier than asking a question. What my guides are telling me is that this relationship that you're in is shifting and changing. And that I'm not sure whether it's you who are doing the changing or he's doing the changing, but things are not the same as they were. There's a shift. One or the other of you has an opportunity to step back into something from the past, and that may not be another relationship. It may be something professional or something that you used to do as a skill set. One of you is having this opportunity to do something which in a professional sense could really be super good, but it's going to make the relationship more difficult. Okay? And this is putting stress. So there's stress on the relationship because of these outside factors that are involved. Now, in the midst of all this, someone reminiscent of someone from your past that you kind of had the hots for is going to become available, and that's soon. And so you have, know what you have at home. Be happy at home if that's where your heart is, and don't get tempted. I'm only giving the warning. Okay? But it's really interesting how the world, the universe happens that way, is that, when life is really, really good and everything is exactly the way you planned it out, you never get tempted. It's when things are a little stressful and uncomfortable, that's when you get tempted. It just works that way. And that is a situation that has happened for you before. So it's an old situation that's returning. Okay?
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Good. Happy Halloween, my friend. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you back. Lisa, who's next?
All right, I'm going up to Dana.
Hello, Dana.
Hopefully, Dana. Only her mic is not showing unmuted.
Dana, can you unmute yourself?
There we go.
There I am.
There, I hear
There she
her.
is.
I hear her. Dana, what's your sun sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay, and that puts you right over here. Most of the sign Leos in the second house in this chart, a little tiny bit, including Jupiter in the third. Dana, what do you have that you are particularly grateful for this evening?
Oh, my son.
And how old is he?
He's 21.
Another great age. I love young men who are in those late teens, early 20s, because that's when life is happening. It's like that's when they're blasting off. So it's a good time for him, good time for you and for the family. And what's your question this evening?
Well, gosh, I had one question, and then based on the first question you took, now I kind of have two. I've had some experiences recently that have confirmed some other experiences in the past, and so my question is also around psychic skill and ability, and if that is something I should be working on developing right now, and if it's a potential area for work at some point. And then I also have a question about a move. I should have a move coming up soon, and I'm just not sure which location.
Do be sure about it. You definitely will. This planet Jupiter is all about moves and travel, and it's right there in your sun sign. You're going, and it's soon. Okay, so start laying your plans and just be ready to go, because it's going to happen. I also want to take a moment. A lot of you may not be aware of this right now, but my reading special is about developing, or what are your best psychic senses. So if you want to, I can actually look at your specific astrology chart, and I can not only identify your psychic abilities, but I can tell you how you can best go about developing them. So I could really get into that in great detail. So I don't know why I didn't think to mention that earlier, but I would be glad to do that for, everybody on this call. There is a charge. It's my regular reading special charge, but if that's something that interests you and you really want that direction, that's really what you should be doing. Meanwhile, just looking at this horary chart and also asking the questions from my guides, yes, you are gifted. You are a person who is very, you're very verbal, and you're very good at explaining things. So, for example, you would make an extraordinarily good teacher. And so any area that you work with your psychic ability in should be, I wouldn't say, you might have a gift in mediumship, but I would say that you would be much happier doing something that involves some form of counseling or coaching, where you could actually use your verbal skills to give advice and support. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's what this Horry chart is saying. So, but the answer really, and it is, I can see why you are thinking about what the first person was asking me, Lynn, because it is difficult in our age, our times, to be able to form a profession as a psychic. And I want to just go into this a little bit deeper, because obviously there's a lot of interest in this concept on the call this evening. Let's give another example. Back in the 1800s, the late 1800s, when Sigmund Freud first invented psychology, because he was the father of psychology, period. Initially, he was laughed. He was the laughing stock of the scientific community. When he started achieving results, everybody said, well, that was an accident. This stuff isn't real. When he actually developed proof and did studies, he gradually brought around him some students and some of them went out and became very famous people in their own rights, doing phenomenal things with their psychology. But it took psychology, from the early 1900s all the way up until probably, I'd say, around the 1970s or 80s. So it took it almost 70 years almost before it really became an established profession that was respectable. And in today's world, there are psychologists in schools, in businesses. The government employs them. There are government agencies that involve almost exclusively psychologists. So from its very humble beginnings with one or two people that really had to struggle to survive, to prove that it worked, it has become something which is a core profession that everybody knows about. And that is exactly what I see happening with the psychic profession. But those of us who are here now, we're busy moving our profession out of the realm of the fortune teller and the gypsy and into the realm of the corporation, of people who can work with government agencies, people who can work not just with doing readings, but with schools, giving an idea, yes, this decision will lead here, this decision will be there, or being able to do mediumship to explain to people what happens on either side of the veil. There are so many, many different applications that are possible in our field, and we've only scratched the surface. The government is already using remote viewing. You can use remote viewing yourself to preview before you go to something to see whether you're going to enjoy it or not. Psychic ability is absolutely amazing. You can put a book under your pillow at night that you really want to get the most out of. In the morning, you'll almost have a feeling that you've read the book. You can pick it up and really understand it, whereas before maybe you didn't have a clear view of it. There's just so much. We are only scratching the surface of the psychic field in our work today. And my guides tell me that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the psychic field is going to be just as reputable and just as widespread in its application as psychology is today. But you and I are on the leading edge. So we're the ones who are going to make it happen. How do you like that?
Interesting.
So towards this, I would suggest that along the way, do your psychic skills and study all of the psychic things that you're developing, but don't forget to study some business courses and study a little bit of marketing. Put your feet on the ground. Look at who in your world needs the kind of advice that you can give that's based on your predictive ability. You do have the ability to be the predictive psychic. Are you aware of that?
I think so, yeah. I've had a lot of precognitive awareness.
It started as precognitive dreams, and now it's precognitive feelings, and before long it will be precognitive visions as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So keep studying. Now, did that
Well,
answer your questions?
it sure did. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. It's just amazing to me when we do a call like this, there is always a theme. People of like mind are attracted. Everyone who's on this call is interested in the psychic field, but every month we have a different focus and a different theme, and it forms itself. So it's just, to me, so interesting. It's almost like your guides talk to my guides, and they all say, okay, we're going to talk about this tonight. Let's all get together. And it just flows through, and that's what we get. And thank you so much for bringing these concepts out in the open, because they're really important. Lisa, who is next on your list?
I'm going to go up to the top and unmute Adriana.
Adriana.
Yes, how are you, Sandy?
I'm very well, and how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Adriana, what's your sun sign?
I am a Gemini.
Me too. Welcome. It's a great
Oh,
sign.
great.
And here we are in this chart's 12th house. That's about the unconscious and dreams. So let's talk about your dreams. What kind of dog do you have, Adriana?
Excuse me, say that again?
What kind of dog do you have? He sounds little.
Oh, he's a Maltese.
He's little. Adriana,
Yes, he's very small.
what are you most grateful for this evening, aside from your wonderful Maltese dog? I love dogs.
I'm very, very grateful for my family. And I'm very grateful because I have a great friend of mine who had an open heart surgery, who almost died, but he's making it through the whole difficulties of his health.
Excellent.
I'm very
That's
grateful
wonderful.
for that.
Again, you know those chills I talked about? I'm getting them all over again. This is a little bit of information for him that you can share with him. He's at this point going through a time in his life where he gets to make a choice. He's been carrying an emotional burden for a very long time. He hasn't shared it. He hasn't talked about people. It's closed up his throat. Thyroid problems that led to a heart problem. It's almost like his heart almost burst. It was major. The thyroid problems are not gone. He has a choice to make in life, and that choice will either allow him to continue living and become a very healthy man, or will allow him to cross over and be free. But he has to let go of the burden. Please tell him that. It's not his burden anymore. It's time to let go.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yes.
What's your question?
Sandy, I have been in the spiritual journey for a while. I have been bouncing among different teachers. There are a lot of things that happened to me when I was praying many years ago. So I'm confused between me pursuing being more, I guess, starting to really take that seriously. But I also have been I have had some issues with the fact that I think when I was, and that's what I have been told. I don't want to necessarily believe this, but I have not experienced a whole lot of opening in my third eye, which actually makes me feel like I am almost like a halfway psychic because I can't see. It's almost like if I'm not allowed, or there is too much fear from previous lives that do not allow me to see in this current life. Things that I should be seeing, I think.
Yeah, Adriana, I don't think it's either one of those things. I think that I think that you're extraordinarily intuitive. You have had a lot of experiences that are psychic during the course of your life, probably many more than most of the people around you have, and you have seen things and felt things clairvoyantly, so it's all there. But what's happened is that you try to grab it and force it. You try to You try too hard instead of allowing.
Okay.
And so it makes you feel as if it's closed. But think about this.
Okay.
How can you open a door when you're leaning against, if a door opens inward and you're leaning against the door with your own weight, you can't open that door. Okay? It's as simple as that. You need to learn to allow, because the gift is there, and it's just a matter of allowing it and being comfortable with it because you're allowing instead of trying so hard. I think that what's happened is when these things have happened, they just come. And you're so excited that you try to grab it, okay? And as soon as you try to grab it, it disappears. So allow.
That's exactly true.
Yep. But the more you allow and the more you relax with it and just know it's there, kind of record it. I call it a do-good book. Get a do-good book, and every time you get a feeling that happens, record it. Every time you get an experience that you knew ahead of time, record it. Every time, things like your girlfriend is about to call you and you pick up the phone and call her. And she says, oh, I was about to call you. Write it down. Do good. Start recording those do-goods because those happen to you all the time, and they happen without any effort at all. And that'll start to get you into the mode of just being comfortable with the psychic experience and not trying so hard that you shut it down. Okay?
Yeah, okay. And I do have a question. Obviously, it's so much excitement, and there are lots of things that I have experienced, but I'm not really sure where I am supposed to be, because I think I have been experienced healing, meaning I think I have helped others through my hands or whatever. I think I am a tool for healing, but I also have a gift of, it's just, I'm all over the place. I have some, I call it the gift of the tongues, speaking in tongues. And when I speak in tongues and or pray over an ill person, something happens, and it does happen. So that's one thing that I believe it should be my gift, and I should pursue it more. But I all of a sudden also became really open toward the angel reading, the card reading.
Why not?
And I don't know where to go with all of
for now, you're doing
I don't know if I should stick with the angels, I should do something more defined, or I should just explore everything, and eventually I will find my own niche.
You'll find your own niche. Adriana, start with the healing work, because that's what you've been led to. And probably the work that you're doing with the angel cards is mostly for you right now, but you will have some of your healing people that you work with as clients that you'll feel the impulse to pull a card for or to work with. Eventually there'll be a crossover between the two things. Okay?
Okay. All right. I think
Thank you. Good luck to you.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. Thank you,
welcome.
Sandy. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bless you also. And Lisa, who is next?
I'm actually going to read one out of the chat room.
Ah, good.
She doesn't want to be on mic. Her name is Nancy. And she says, I am a Pisces and grateful for this break I have in my life to redirect my path. I believe I'm being drawn into helping with hospice and want to know if Sandy has any insight about this. I am an empath and have a concern about being physically drained in this process.
Well, you said it. And thank you. I think that you have stated wonderfully your own situation, and you're completely accurate. Here's what this chart says about you. First of all, Pisces is on the midheaven, so you are already working as an empath in everything you do. And of course, your sun is Pisces. The moon in this chart is in Pisces. Chiron, the healing planetoid, is in Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces. This is, number one, right now you're in a time period in your life where every one of your empathic abilities is exploding. You are becoming more empathic, not less, as time goes on. That's number one. Number two, you are being given an opportunity to heal your issues with your empathy and also with some relationships that you've had that didn't work out properly because of your empathy. And one of the best places for you to use your empathy is going to be in your career. So working in hospice is actually going to be good because these are people that you have an emotional concern for, but that you don't relate to emotionally, where you will take on their symptoms or their problems. So they are a perfect place for you to learn to establish boundaries, because the boundaries that are going to happen for you are ones that you first learn in your profession, and when you get really good at them, you'll bring them into your personal life, and you'll be able to use them with your lover, with your family, with your friends, and you will no longer feel like you're shutting people out. It'll feel natural, it'll feel comfortable, and you will have much healthier relationships as a result. So you're being given an opportunity here through the work you're being led to do in hospice to learn to establish boundaries, and that will eventually move into every aspect of your life and improve it. So I'm all for it. I think it's going to be a great experience for you. And Lisa, who do we have next?
Okay, I'm going to go down here to Diane. Diane, you're unmuted.
Hello, Diane. Diane, I'm not hearing you, so you may not have your mic turned on. Nope, still not hearing you. I know sometimes when people are new to this, it's a little hard to figure out where the mic is. While you figure that out, we'll come back to you. Lisa, let's go on to someone else, and then we'll come back to her after she's had a chance to find it.
Alrighty, I'm going to go down here to Karen. Karen, you are unmuted.
Hello, Karen. Karen, I'm having...
Hello?
Okay, yes, you found it.
Hi.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
Hi, Sandy. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Karen, what's your sun sign?
I am an Aries.
Uh-huh. So here you are, right up here in that 10th house again. And what are you most grateful for tonight?
I am most grateful for my wonderfully supportive and loving boyfriend. He's fabulous.
I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you being grateful, because you just sound like you're bubbling over. I'm so glad things are so good. That's great.
Oh, I'm so happy in that area. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I am.
And I can feel it. And thank you for sharing that with everybody on the call and letting us all have a little bit of that joy. That's wonderful. Thank you.
You bet. You bet.
And what's your question?
Well, I'm at kind of a crossroads, quandary kind of place in my life. There's one thing that I enjoy doing, and there's another thing I enjoy doing, but one is really quite lucrative, yet it's maybe not quite as interesting as it used to be, and it doesn't want me to get up in the morning. The other one is more spiritually based, yet I haven't really gone all out there as far as I can with it, so I question if I'm kind of crazy or losing my mind in a way to think I should go pursue that over the one that's very lucrative.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure where I'm going with my career, and I just wanted to see what you and your guides may have in store, thinking that may be in store for me.
The reason I'm giggling is that my guides say you already have the answer. You don't need to be asking me.
That's funny.
But you do, don't you?
I want to ask, and I have the answer, but I still want to hear words from you and your work you do.
Well, the first thing that I need to tell you is that you are going to have many more over this next 3 years, many more opportunities open for you. And those opportunities will be in both fields. So honestly, what you need to be doing is looking at your long-term goal in life and see, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? What is it that brings you happiness? And then look at not just these two options, but the other options that are going to unfold as well. There are at least 3 more, even within the next 6 months. And when you're looking at all those options, if with regard to your long distance goal, that is going to tell you exactly which one you need to do. That's why my guide said you already have the answer, because you see, you do have the long distance goal. You do know where you want to end up.
Yeah, I would say I do. I do. I think the part that's allowing me or keeping me from really seeing the full answer, although I can feel it. I feel it more than see it, okay? And I think it's great what you suggested, to see those long-term goals. That's a great suggestion. I think what I question is, am I losing my mind or my sanity by kind of jumping off into this area? Because I know what it takes to do something really well, and I know I need to put my effort into it, and I find that the lucrative work really does take a lot of my energy and effort from it, and it drains me. It's very draining at times, although it does reward me quite well.
And you also realize something else is happening right now. Even though the lucrative work weighs you down, it makes it possible for you to develop the skill to do the other work well. And something else is happening as well. The two things are balancing out now. That one is the profession, the other, more like a hobby, is your joy. Ask yourself if the other one was the thing you had to get up out of bed every morning and do exclusively, and you didn't have the work paying most of the bills. If that new work became the only work, would it still be joyous?
Did you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yes. Absolutely yes.
See, because what's interesting with you is that you know that you have what it takes to take that new work and turn it into just as lucrative a profession as the first one. Now, it might not be tomorrow, but it will be in the next year. If you totally apply yourself, you have what it takes, you know you can do it. Your concern really is twofold. The first is, can you support yourself and still find joy in what you're doing, when now you have to think about it as money, not just as my fun thing. And the second thing is, does that line up with your long distance goal? And if your answer to both of those questions is yes, then do it.
Absolutely. That's very well said. I appreciate that.
Not only are you a very logical person, but so are your guides.
They don't always seem so logical, but okay.
Really, and are you crazy to even be thinking about this? Everybody in your family, all of your friends would certainly say that. But, it's not their life. It's yours.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think I have support in some areas, in some areas I don't, but I sometimes don't care. I just wonder if I'm seeming crazy to myself at times. I am somewhat logical, but I do jump off in the deep end, and when I go in the deep end, I really go. So it's that question of, wow, I'm at an opportunity where I could pursue either, and I could go full force with either. So yeah,
you think you're confused now. Just wait for 4 months. You're going to be even more confused.
Oh, wow.
There are more options coming.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's actually exciting. So I do appreciate that, too. That's exciting.
And I do think you're going to make a change of career. And I do think it's going to be on the far outside within the next 2 years, more likely within the next 6 months. You can call back and let me know.
Oh, I absolutely will. Thank you so much, Sandy. I really
Good luck
appreciate
to
your
you.
work.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I think I have time if I move fast for two more people. So, Lisa, who's had their hand up the longest?
We're going to try Diane again. She thinks maybe she's got her problem fixed.
Okay.
Diane, you're unmuted.
Well, I'm hearing static. This is an improvement over last time. At least there's something. Still not hearing you, though. Lisa, ask her if she can type her question into the chat room.
She already has.
Okay, can you read it for her?
I can. It says, how do you know your life's purpose? I love doing a variety of things. Should I be concentrating on one thing? And if so, what is it?
Right now, Diane, this is not your time to concentrate on one thing. By the way, Lisa, did she tell us what her sign is?
No, but I'm just typing that question.
Okay.
Pisces.
Another Pisces. So we have, first of all, Pisces is a very eclectic sign. It's usually good at many different things. It's very creative, but also very intellectual at the same time. And right now is a particularly emotional time for you, and you're emotionally connected to wanting to, I'm going to use the term, wanting to make a difference in the world. That's the most important thing for you right now. It's not so important what you do. It's important that you believe thoroughly in what you're doing. And as long as you're feeling like the gal that I spoke with before, the other Pisces who is interested in hospice, that's going to bring her joy because she's going to feel as if she's doing something that's making a difference in people's lives. Now, I don't care if, you're working, packing bags at Walmart. If you feel inside of you that you are making a difference because of the work that you do, and that you can believe in the company you work for and believe in the people you work with, you are going to be very happy in your career. So right now, my guides are saying that the most important thing for you is to be eclectic in what you do. You've gone through a major loss. I don't know what it is. It's not that far in the past. And you are needing the diversification to pull you out of your shell, to pull you out of your own personal space. So you're needing that involvement with people right now to get out there and try different things and to explore and experiment to see what you're good at. And when you find the thing that makes you feel like you're doing something that's more important than just you, and I think you know what I'm talking about, that's the thing that you should be doing because it's going to bring you the most joy. And I guess there's a theme that I'm talking about tonight also that has to do with work isn't supposed to be just the place you go to make a buck. Work is supposed to be the thing that you do so that at the end of the day, when you crawl into bed at night, you can sleep peacefully and have that something inside of you that says, this was a good day. I enjoyed that. We spend, most of us, 1/3 of our lives, some of us more than that, some of us as much as 40% of our lives, working. The work that we do needs to be something that we can believe in and feel good about. Maybe it makes us feel good because it's supporting our family. Maybe it makes us feel good because we love the people we work with. Maybe it's because it's serving some higher purpose. But you need to be eclectic right now so that you give yourself the opportunity to find what that work is. You're good at many, many things, so you have to experiment until you find the right niche. So I know that wasn't the answer you were looking for, but that will lead you to finding your answer. Okay, good luck to you. And Lisa, I think we can take one more who's got a verbal question if there's somebody with their hand raised.
Okay. Annette, you are unmuted.
Sure. Hello.
Hello, Annette. Can you get a little closer to the mic? I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Sure. Do you hear me now?
What's your sun sign?
It's also Pisces.
Okay. And what are you most grateful for this evening, Annette?
It will be my family and friends.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Me too.
Yes.
And what's your question?
Well, I have a question about my psychics. Well, if it's so that a person I have actually not met in real life, but I have chatted with her over chat, and when I did that for about 2 years ago, I got a very explosion of connection with the spirits, you can say, and I was asking, I think I was thinking of asking you if everything is true that I have experienced, and if it is so that a person can help me to deliver, sorry, it's not my, the English is not my first language here.
You're doing very well, though. You continue.
Oh, thank you. If a person can makes me like open my third eye, is it possible to people to makes me do that?
It is possible. I've got to tell you, it is possible.
Okay.
I'm also extraordinarily suspicious of it.
Okay.
Especially if it was someone you didn't, well, I don't know the circumstances, so let me just ask my guides, was there any harm intended to you in that opening? And they're telling me no, there was not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and what they're telling me is that this opening was not done intentionally either. Okay. Apparently in your chat, this woman opened, and because you are highly empathic and tuned into her, you opened with her. So she did not do your opening, you did your opening. Okay?
Okay.
And that was safe. But I do want to say to the rest of our callers that there are people who will say, oh, wow, I'm going to open your third eye on the internet, or I'm going to use Reiki energy to, do long-distance Reiki attunement. There are a lot of people out there who can energetically connect with you through this online world. I'm one of them. I can do this. And so I understand that it's doable. The thing is that I would want to know a whole lot more about that person and what their background was, what gave them the right to do this, where they studied. I would just want to know more about them before I was doing any kind of work with them that was going to be giving an opening. Okay? So keep that in mind in the future. If somebody advertises, I do this, find out more about them. Okay?
But it was not a teacher. It was a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been explored, so many of spirits have connected with me, and also a grandmother to her has passed for about 1.5 years ago now, and it just took a little bit of some days before she has passed. Then she visited me and talked to me. And well, I was very confused about that, because she asked me to deliver a message to her grandchild, the person I was talking to. and it makes me very well. I got the feeling that I was crazy.
Here's how I would handle that, and I'm so limited on time. I can't go into this as deeply as I would like. But the questions you're raising are very, very good, and I'm sure most of our callers have had similar experiences and share this question with you. So it's important. Here's the important thing, though, is that you don't, if a spirit comes to you and you did not go out and seek that, it just happened either in your dreams or it happened during the course of the day, they crossed your mind, you're not truly at risk if it happens that way. But when you sit down and say, okay, I'm going to go out and connect with a spirit, now you are initiating contact. When you do that, when you actually consciously try to act as a medium, you must have protection, and the protection needs to be very strong, because you could attract something, you could go out and look for something and pull something in, which is somebody impersonating somebody else. In other words, you could get into trouble. Mediums have to be able to protect themselves. So in your situation where you have been opened, apparently you got opened by this gal, you're very psychically sensitive, you had a lot of natural empathic ability to begin with, now you're starting to spontaneously do mediumship. There's going to be this temptation to reach out and do it deliberately and consciously. And I'm going to suggest that you get my books, Psychic Development Levels 1 through 6, at least the books, and read them, and pay particular attention to the protections in levels 4, 5, and 6, so that you are protected. I think it's wonderful that you are sensitive to just taking this message and immediately delivering it, because usually those kinds of messages aren't really welcomed by the living person. It's a little scary, it's a little uncomfortable, and when that's happened to me, what I did is, instead of saying, hey, gee, guess what, your mother or your grandmother came and talked to me and told me blah, instead of doing that, what I've done is said, you know, it was the oddest thing. I had a dream about your grandmother the other night when I was sleeping, and in the dream she said blah, 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 and I just wanted to let you know, because it was just a dream, but it was a nice thing. And if you put it like that, you don't put anybody off, okay?
Yeah, okay.
But you do not ever have to deliver a message. You know, just because somebody is on the other side and gives a message to you doesn't mean that you have to shake heaven and earth to go and deliver that message. You deliver it if you can, if you're in the right space to do it, but you definitely don't just walk up to somebody and clobber them with that message, because that can cause a lot of upset. Okay?
Well, yes, thank you.
It
has happened. Yes, it has happened like 2 times now. Not for the same person, but in another situation with another person. It's also had experience about similar.
Yeah,
but,
and you would ask me, are these experiences all real? They are real, but they are not all good people coming to you. The one with the grandmother was, the other one was not.
Okay.
So again, I'm going to emphasize, you need to learn how to do this properly, and you need to learn protection. It's very important for you. Okay?
Okay.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. I appreciate
all that up.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everyone who's been on the call with me this evening. As always, you are just absolutely wonderful. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I hope that so much of this information that's come up has helped all of you that are here listening with your own journeys. I'll be back, as I said earlier in the call, I'll be back next month. It's on December 9th. This is November already. So I'll be back on December 7th with the next Psychic Hour. And I will be here on November 13th doing my self-healing webinar for everyone. And in Tampa, live, teaching Psychic Development Level 5, which is Advanced Mediumship Techniques. and that's going to be on November 15th and 16th. So thank you all so very much. Love all of you, and have a wonderful rest of the month. And once again, happy Halloween, the time when the veil is thinnest. It's always a great time of year. Good night, everyone.